What if very sensitivity you've tried to manage or hide is actually your greatest strength? Today, we're exploring why highly sensitive people may be naturally intuitive, deeply aware, and uniquely designed for this type of awakening. Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to the Angels and Destiny show, where we explore spiritual wisdom, healing, and transformation to help you take charge of your destiny. I'm Rae Calnan, the founder of Radiant Angel Energy, and a spiritual guide and healer helping you reconnect with your divine presence and create a life of purpose and fulfillment. Now, the meaning of angel is messenger, and destiny means to make firm or establish. So each week, my guests and I bring you messages to help ground divine wisdom into your everyday life. Now, in today's episode of the Angels and Destiny show, I'm delighted to be joined by Carolina Fahlbusch, an intuitive transformational guide who works with highly sensitive people, empaths, old souls, and seekers who feel deeply and know there is more to life than they've been told. Blending mystical insight, energy work, NLP, coaching, and scientifically informed understanding of sensitivity and neurodiversity. Carolina helps people embrace their sensitivity, release old patterns, and live in alignment with their true essence. So today we'll be exploring sensitivity as a superpower, the connection between science and spirituality, and Carolina's LUMINA Journey, a path helping sensitive souls move from overwhelm into clarity, alignment, and conscious creation. So, without further delay, hello, Carolina, and a warm welcome to the Angels and Destiny show. How are you today?
Thank you, Gray. I am amazing and delighted to be here. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you are more than welcome. So, for everyone watching, whether you're joining us live or catching the replay, we'd love you to be part of this conversation. Let us know what resonates, ask questions, or share your own experiences in the comments. Please don't be shy. So, Carolina, why don't you tell us a little bit about your journey and then why many people watching recognize themselves as sensitive or empathic, yet they've often been told that this is something they need to fix or toughen up? From your perspective, what is sensitivity really, and why might it actually be a gift rather than a limitation?
Thank you, Ray. That's a beautiful question. So, my journey was basically finding out that sensitivity is indeed a superpower and it's indeed very much needed during this time of mass awakening that we're going through on Earth, right? So, the topic is that on Earth, we have normalized a lot of behaviors that are life negating instead of normalizing behaviors that are life affirming, like, for example, listening to your heart, to your intuition, to your nervous system, your emotions, right? So, we, the empaths, the highly sensitive souls, seekers, however you identify yourself, are here on Earth on a special mission. We're here to let others know that normalizing behaviors that are life negating is no longer the path, but the path is indeed to normalize intuition, intuitive insights, taking guidance from your higher self, your angels, your spirit guides. That's what we came here for, to bring in these high vibrational energies of alignment, of living within our truth, right? So, what is sensitivity? Genetically speaking, sensitivity is a gene that, whether it's active or not. So, if it's active, then you have a heightened sensitivity. And what I like to point out is that there are different types of sensitivity. There is vulnerable sensitivity on one side of the spectrum, and there is vantage sensitivity on the other side of the spectrum. How does vulnerability start? Well, genes and epigenetics have already taught us that genes are activated depending on the environment. So if you grow up in an environment that is low vibrational, where love is not given freely, but like has to be, you have to do something to acquire this kind of love. It's conditional love, depends on different conditions. When there is a lot of judgment around you, yes, and you grow up as a highly sensitive person in this environment, you are going to develop a heightened sensitivity towards low vibrational, aka negative things showing up in your life. So if you grow up, on the other hand, in an environment that is highly supportive, where you are loved unconditionally, no matter if you broke something, some glass shattered, whatever happens, you are always welcome. You're always loved and cared for. You're going to develop a heightened sensitivity towards positive environments, high vibrational environments. And it's important for us to realize that so that we can start working with this information. It's not about putting a label on somebody. It is about working with the information that is given. Because when you work with the information, you understand it. And that is when you move to knowledge. And having knowledge is amazing. It's educational. And you can still start utilizing this knowledge into your daily life, looking if this is aligned with love. And that is when you move into wisdom. So that has been my journey and still is. Always moving into further alignment, always self-reflecting, meditating, as I say, sitting on things, on situations, and just letting the energies flow through you. My journey started with an NDE as a child. That's one of the starting points that you can name that are like very impressive, let's put it that way. And it was an experience that has many layers of teachings. You know, the first layer of teaching was, as a child, I understood that there is this body and I get to inhabit it, but I am not this body, right? That's the first layer of it. The second layer was this layer of everything is interconnected and there are no barriers. You can feel, sense, know, understand without knowing where it came from. So the heightened sensitivity started to be more aware for me after I had this MDE. So some people would think that I could read their minds, but I wasn't reading their minds. I was reading their energy. I was reading if a person was telling me, AKA the truth, or if they were trying to fake something, right? Which obviously tends to freak people out because some people live like, yeah, showing a mask. And when there is a person telling them, no, this is not how you feel, I'm sorry, then obviously people get freaked out, right? But on the other hand, obviously, you know, my environment didn't understand what happened to me. Although the knowledge was there was no wisdom. So they didn't fully really understand what was going on with me. And I was often told to toughen up. I was often told that I didn't have a sense of humor because I didn't understand the jokes that were being said. And a lot of other stuff, to a certain degree that at some point in my life, I wasn't able to trust my own intuition anymore. I wasn't able to trust my inner knowing. I couldn't trust my emotions, my thoughts, anything. And I was constantly looking outside of me to try and find answers to why am I so different? What's going on with me? What's wrong with me? So that was the question that I kept asking myself throughout so many years in my life. And so this is what I came here to do. I came here to experience all of that and a lot of density, a lot of uncertainty, of fear, etc., low vibrations, so that I could move through them, transmute them, take the wisdom with me, and then help others do the same.
Yeah, that's really good. I mean, what did your parents think about it? How did they cope with it?
Well, they didn't. Yeah, long story short, they really didn't. So I had to shut several things down that I knew were not normal. Because, my journey was trying to find what is normal and to be normal. There was this need inside of me for validation, for being loved, right? And it usually meant to abandon my truth and my heart feelings, right? So that was the point. So I needed to start understanding myself on deeper layers and self reflect, self reflect, self reflect to be able to move through that, you know? So yeah, what was the experience from my, let's say, family or environment? It was more of a something's wrong with you situation and you need to toughen up. And so I was constantly being told that the way that I see the world is not the way the world is.
Yeah. So when did that change? When did you notice, that you needed to make that switch, from what you were being told and, hiding your intuition, everything? What was the catalyst that you suddenly thought, "Actually, no, I'm gonna start embracing this"?
There was this earth angel. And, you can be an earth angel for someone. I can be an earth angel for someone. So there was this earth angel who was an energetically aware psychologist. And so it was quite fun with him. I really connected with him on so many levels. And it was always, yeah, we were talking about dense stuff and low vibrational stuff and trauma time, all of that, but in a very amazing, fun way. So the way we started our talk for the very first time was like, okay, so why are you here? That was the question. And I answered, okay, so I've had this trauma, this trauma, this trauma, this, and that. And I was like, so I guess all of that? I don't know where you want to start. You let me know, no? And he started laughing about it. I was like, yeah, I'm open here. Whatever. And so he started asking questions and I started answering those questions. And at some point, this person said something that just struck, it struck me like a lightning, basically. And this person said, what if there is nothing wrong with you? What if the world is basically upside down? And I was like, whoa, wait a minute. What did just happen? So that was the first time that I started asking the question, what did really go wrong on Earth? You know? What went so low vibrational, so dense on Earth? Because when I was a child, I started getting also downloads, after the NDE and all of that. And I had this download telling me that something went wrong on Earth. And I came here to help fix it because we were all supposed to be friends. Well, this is how I received the message in the words of a child,
Yeah.
but everybody gets it, no matter how old you are. And so it struck me like a lightning also because I remembered, oh my gosh, that's exactly what I said when I was. So yeah, it was quite the journey and it took a lot of years to get there.
Yeah, and it isn't a quick fix, and even, now with all the work I've done, and I know with all the work you've done, we're still always learning, evolving, finding things that, "Oh, where did that come from? Okay, let's move through that now."
Exactly, that's true. Just recently, I just moved into this new amazing home, and I was sitting on the couch and I was totally happy. I was like, thank you, universe. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. I'm so happy. Like, this is better than I could ever expect or hope for. And all of that. I was just dancing and living my best life. And there came this fear. And I was like, whoa, where did you come from? Hey, how are you doing? Long time no see. You came to join the party of celebration. And then I just sat with it. I was like, okay, let me nourish you. Let me ask you some questions. Let's recalibrate. Yeah, exactly. So it's like the more you do this amazing work of healing your inner child, shadow work, however you want to call it, deeper layers can arise. Layers that you didn't even know exist can arise. And you get this fragment integrated as well. So yeah, it's a continuous journey, and yeah, it's just about loving it.
So how did Lumina come about?
Well, Lumina came about because, Lumina is also this word for radiance, for brightness. Yes. And it's about shining the light of your higher self through your embodiment, through the way that you show up in life. So Lumina has these different parts to it. Lumina is actually an abbreviation as well for listen with the L. First, you need to start listening to your emotions, to your thoughts, to your feelings, to everything that arises. Yes, you need to listen to those signals because this is the information that's being provided. Then you need to understand this information, and you need to understand the patterns of behavior that you bring forth, to look at the roots of it. Where do they come from? Where in my childhood was I told I am too sensitive, I am too much, too intense? Yes? What belief systems were created because of that? And then you start moving into alignment. You start listening to your truth. This doesn't sit well with me. So I'm going to speak up. I'm going to honor this truth. Yes, I'm going to ask myself, what are my guiding stars? The guiding stars are the values. Yes, which values do I honor in my daily life? Yes, because that will already give you boundaries. What is in alignment with my values is welcome here automatically. And what is not in alignment with my values will not be attracted to me. Yes. So then you have this deep reflection about your values and your inner truth. Then you can start integrating that into your daily life. Because the only way to rewire your brain is A, through hypnosis, or B, through repetition. You need to form these new neural pathways over and over again. I tend to say like with grass. If you look at grass and you always walk this straight line, well, that's the neural pathway that is arising from
Yeah.
the belief systems of your childhood. But if you say this does no longer serve me, this is not helping me, so you start going another path, and then the grass will grow back in these old spots, And you will start forming a new pathway that's different. But you need to do it on a daily basis, repeatedly. And then you reprogram your nervous system through that. Then you nourish your truth even more. And then you act as the powerful creator that you already are. Because everything that is in your life or that shows up in your life is because you attracted it. So if it's something that you like and enjoy, like this new, home of mine, then you're like, yeah, thank you. More, yoo-hoo. And if it's something that you dislike, well, then you need to ask yourself, how did I attract this? With my subconscious mind unconsciously. And then you're like, let's sit on that, meditate. The answers will come from your higher self if you're open to receiving them. So that's how Lumina came by. It's basically this process of alignment.
Cool. No, that sounds really great. So, if there is sort of like an empath watching someone who's very sensitive, what would be the first thing you'll suggest that they should do to, not to overcome it, but to embrace it and know that it's a strength that they've actually got? Why is it a strength?
Well, there is a lot of science in this as well, because science has found out that highly sensitive people are actually highly intuitive. Klingelingeling. Is that something that you recognize from your spiritual practices? When it says, like, listen to your gut feeling. How does it sit with you? Yes? Do you sense alignment or misalignment? Well, that's your intuition telling you this is for me, this is not for me. So science has also found out that highly sensitive people usually don't care so much about like what country you come from, or how you grew up, which other kind of stuff like this, regional stuff. They are more open to see through all of this kind of stuff. And that is also something that is like this oneness experience, or it leads us towards that, to see the soul and not whatever the history is. To see this person as this amazing soul that came to incarnate into Earth. Then we have in science the findings that HSPs are called the canaries in the coal mine, because we can read energies. We can feel when something is about to show up, and we can warn everybody around us to say, hey, we need to do some adjustments. We have like a risk management system inside of us. And so if we start listening to this, we can warn everybody and say, hey, this behavior is really not sitting well here in this environment. So we need to adjust how we're going to proceed before anything can escalate. And this is pretty important in society right now. We came here also to de-escalate, to remember that we are one, to see through the illusions of duality, of separation, right? Because yes, you call yourself Rae, I call myself Carolina. And yes, we're on this journey of know thyself and individuation, living from our truth. And at the same time, we are one. So whatever I love about you, I love about myself, or I have the potential inside myself to grow that even more. And whatever I don't like so much about you, well, it's also inside of myself, and it's guiding me to look at it and to embrace it within myself so that I can embrace you more fully. Sorry. Then we have this illusion of duality. Yes, this is good. This is bad. Well, we live in a 3D world. The way that I say it is like, is this aligned with my values? Which value is this aligned, this behavior that is showing up? Is this a behavior that I'm looking at that is aligned with fear? And I don't resonate so much with that. So, well, I have a choice to distance myself from that and to wish everybody the best on their journey still. So those are these kind of things that highly sensitive people are super duper at. Then you have also this inner knowing of highly sensitive people. We just know, we know the intentions of somebody. This has been also scientifically backed up. Yes? So this is exactly clear sentience and clear cognizance that we have here at play. So if you already have those heightened within yourself as a highly sensitive person, that's why I call highly sensitive people also empaths at the same time. I don't make a differentiation there because to me it's the same. So when you already have those clairs open and radiant and you embrace them, well, that's when you get to develop more and more and more of that. Did that answer your question?
No, that did certainly. And if you're watching this, are you a sensitive, empathic person? How has your life been? Is this making sense to you? Do you have any questions? Even if you're watching this on replay, we do circle back to the comments. So, do put those in there for us. So, what was the question I was going to ask them? See, it's gone out of my head. I was going to ask you a question then, and I can't think what it is. What was I going to ask? Oh yeah, I know I was going to ask science and spirit, because obviously you've brought lots. There's a lot of science behind things, and I think science and spirit can work together quite nicely. But I know there are some people that see them as so separate things. So, how do you see science and spirit working together?
See science as another language to say the same things. In spirituality, you call it clairsentience. In science, you say people are highly intuitive. Well, there you go. So you call it in science knowing the intentions of people. We call it claircognizance. So it's like same, different language. I don't see any separation. I think this is also part of the illusion of separation, and I want to dive deeper into that topic. When we tend to see things as separated and not interconnected, well, that's one of the root causes of a lot of stuff that's going on right now on Earth. For example, when I see somebody as separate from me, that's when I am able to hurt people, to manipulate, to control, and to do all these life negating behaviors because I don't see them as a part of myself. So that is when I forget that I am love, that I am unconditional love. Because when I am unconditional love, I love everybody and everything. So when I have this us and them mentality, that is when, well, what shows up on Earth when that happens. It's happening right now. I'm not going to go into that topic, but that is exactly the point. When I see somebody as a separate being, as a separate from me, that is exactly when this happens. When I start looking at everything as information, I ask myself, what is the part inside of me that is reflected back at me right now that I don't resonate with? What is the thing that's going on inside of me? And that is when I am able to transcend this kind of separation and duality stuff, because there is no good or bad. There is just aligned with unconditional love or aligned with fear. And you get to pick how you show up in your life with your environment, the people that are there. And everybody else gets to show up however they choose to show up, whether they are choosing consciously or unconsciously. But you know what I mean? So it's about integrating this higher wisdom into your daily life through understanding that the person who is begging on the street is me, and they have chosen to make this experience. And I bless them and I wish them the best instead of like, you know, whatever, like, oh no, I don't want to have anything to do with that person. And it's like, let's be honest. Eckhart Tolle was doing that for like over 5 years or something. So it's like, sometimes I think this person might be more enlightened than me. Cheerio.
Yeah. And it is, as you were saying, for, it could, if you see that homeless person, that could be you technically. Just the slightest thing that those roles could be reversed.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, everything is so fleeting and so fluid. And it's like whatever comes your way, you need to embrace it the best you can. You know what I mean? It's like you chose your life on so many levels before you even incarnated. You chose the family you were going to incarnate to, the challenges you were going through, the vessel. You chose your vessel. And everything that you chose about how your vessel looks like has to do with your special journey. So you can even dive deeper into that if that interests you. Why did I choose this color of my hair? Why did I choose whatever it is showing up in my life? So it's just about, yeah, understanding the information, as I already said. That's the most important part. And yeah, everything could be you.
Yeah, and that could take us down a whole different rabbit hole. Paula 2345 says, "Beautiful message. Thank you so much for sharing that with us." So, as you know, I do guides meditations and angel oracle card readings, and each week I like to ask my guests whether they would like me to do a mini guided meditation or pull an oracle card for themselves and those watching. So, Carolina, what would you like me to do?
I love cards.
Oh, and I've got the cards in my hand as we speak. I've always got cards around me somewhere or other. So let's give the cards a quick cleanse and a bless. Now, for those that don't know, when I do cards for what you need to know for your highest good at this moment in time. So even though I work with the past and I take people on past life journeys, it's to see and understand and know the past so it doesn't affect them in their present time. And when I take people into the future, it's so they can see, know, and understand their future, get the steps to create that future, not worry about it, so they can be back fully present. So, what does Caroline and everyone who's watching this, live or the replay, need to know for their highest good whenever they watch this? What do they need to know for their highest good? Okay, you're going to love this. Ties in beautifully. Choosing your path, all is possible.
Yes. We're in the quantum field where everything is possible. I love it.
Exactly, choose your path. Yes, we chose the path before we came into being. So remember what that path was and know that whatever path you do choose, anything is possible on that path and you can change at any moment. But whatever path you go down with the best intentions of it. Um, and know that anything is possible on that path when it's aligned to your highest truth and your highest good. And, with the synchronicities that have been happening to you, Carolina, with the move, the new property and everything like that, it's like you set your mind on that path and then suddenly, hey, I've done it. I'm there. So it's the next thing that's going on. And of course, to everyone watching, choose your path. Know all is possible on your path. If it's for your highest good and the highest good of others, then that path will be true and straight for you, and you'll have no issues on it in any way, shape or form. So yeah, I think it's brilliant that card came out for us. So Carolina, do you have any final insights, words of wisdom, or thoughts you'd like to leave our viewers with?
Remember who you truly are. That's my message. Remember that you are everything. You are one with God, Sophia, Mother, Father, God, however you want to refer to it, the universe. You are the universe. You are love. You are loved. You are whole. You are valuable. And I honor you. Wherever you are, thank you for being here on earth and raising the vibration. This is exactly what we need. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for leaving us with that. So I hope everyone you've enjoyed this conversation and found it insightful, because I know I definitely have. So if people want to connect with you, Carolina, how do they do that? Do you have anything coming up? Any free gifts offers you'd like to share?
Oh, yeah, I have a free gift for the audience. It's the free sensitivity thrive guide. It's a guide for every HSP empath starseed to start aligning further with their own truth. And you can find me on my website, www.new-earth-awakening.com. I also have a podcast where Rae has also been a guest, and you can watch her episode as well soon.
Yes. When is my episode going out?
I don't know yet.
Once you're settled in and you move.
Yes, exactly. Oh gosh. Thank you, Rae. It's beautiful connecting with you.
Oh no, you too. And I will put links to every way you can connect with Carolina and her free gift in the comments. So you can literally just click on it, go directly there, and get the gift. So thank you so much, Carolina, for sharing your wisdom with us today. It's been absolute pleasure chatting to you. It's been so inspiring. And thank you to everyone who has joined us live or is watching on the replay. And of course, if you'd like to deepen your connection with the angels, then you'll find my free 5-day angel connection journey linked in the description, along with details about the Angel Wings membership and the Soul Path Discovery program. If you feel called to explore them further. And of course, if you enjoyed this episode, then you'll love the other conversations in the Angels and Destiny playlist. It's filled with guidance, healing, and inspiring stories to support your spiritual journey. So do check it out now. And, you don't have to watch any shows in order. And there are so many different topics and subjects that you can go and find that will really help you on your journey. And of course, if you are watching this on YouTube and enjoyed the show, then you know the drill. Don't forget to like and share this video with anyone who might need little angelic guidance today. And every like, comment, and share really does help. And you do not know how much it really helps this channel grow and get this message out there. And remember, you are never alone on your path. The angels are always with you. Take care, everyone. Bye.